Assalamu alaikum, dear sir and respected fellows. I hope you all would be in the best state of health. My name is Saima Sabir, roll number 55. I'm excited to be here with you today. After considering several relevant topics, I have to be chosen to present on corpus-based analysis of corpora in register variation. So, as you know that my main topic is corpus-based analysis of corpora in register variation. In this, we discuss introduction to register variation and corpus-based analysis and two main studies. So basically, this presentation explores the corpus-based analysis of register variation in Pakistani English and academic writing by English and Chinese scholars across disciplines. It summarizes significant research findings and methodologies in this field. So here, a question arises that what's the main research focus of my topic and my presentation. So the main focus is to analysis on register variation in different contexts, specifically in Pakistani English and academic writing. In my presentation, I am discussing the 8 main agendas and points. Number 1 is introduction to register variation and corpus based analysis. Number 2 is the first study and the first research that is conducted by Shakir in 2020, a corpus based comparison of variation in online registers of Pakistani English. Number third point is research objectives of Shakir study. Number fourth is methodology of Shakir study. Number 5 is key findings of Shakir study, and the second research article that is conducted by Chinese scholar Gao and Xia in 2020, informal features in academic writing by English and Chinese scholar. And in this research article, I'm discussing the comparative analysis of both studies, and in the last, I'm discussing conclusion and implications. Number first point is introduction to register variation and corpus based analysis. In the introduction to register variation, what is register variation? Register variation refers to how language changes based on context, purpose, and audience. For example, academic versus social media language. Corpus based analysis uses large text collection, especially corpora, to study these variations empirically, identifying linguistic patterns across the different registers. Moreover, if we see the basic definition of register variation encompasses the ways language differs across various contexts based on factors such as audience, purpose, and medium of communication. In importance of corpus based analysis, utilizing extensive corpora allows for empirical observation of language usage patterns, leading to more accurate interpretations of register variations. And if we discussing the overview of two research articles, so we can see a comparative analysis of two significant studies provides insight for the application of corpus based methodologies in register variation research. If I'm discussing the Shakir research article that is published in 2020, a corpus based comparison of variation in online registers of Pakistani English. So, this study examined how Pakistani English varies across different registers, for example, blogs, forums, social media, and the research objectives of Shakir study is aimed to investigate the linguistic features that differentiate online registers in Pakistani English and aim to understand specific contextual influence. And the methodology of Shakir study is utilizing a craft corpus derived from various online platforms, and this study employ quantitative and qualitative methodologies to analyze the language use. The if we talk about the key findings and implications, so results highlighted in register usage influence cultural factors, and discussions is based on evolution of English in local context. If we talk about Shakir studies, the first point is what's the research objectives of Shakir studies? It identifies linguistic differences between the online registers, analyze how Pakistani English adapt to digital communication, compare findings with established norms in other language varieties. It examines linguistic variation in Pak, and the primary objective is to dissect the distinguishing features of Pakistani English across online registers and contributing to the broader understanding of English world. And if I can apply this study in multidimensional analysis, so this study uses Bybert's framework to identify and quantify the multidimensional aspects of register variation, enhancing qualitative analysis with the empirical rigor. So this was the main research objectives of Shakir's study. If we talk about the methodology of Shakir's study, the main methodology is corpus compilation. What is corpus compilation? Collected text from Pakistani online platforms. Then annotation. Annotation means targeted text for registered categories, for example, formal vlogs and versus informal tweets. Then analysis. Analysis means used computational tools to examine lexical, syntactic, and discourse features. If we talk about the main methodologies, the main methodology is corpus details, analysis framework, and the statistical tools used. In the corpus details, the corpus compiled consists of data from diverse online platforms and a comprehensive representation of language used in the Pakistani English context. And in the methodology of analysis framework, this Bybert's multidimensional analysis serve as a backbone for evaluating linguistic features across registers, offering a structured lens for comparison. The next point is key findings of Shakir study. The key findings is register variation in PAC, influence of local culture, and comparison with the native English registers. These key findings distinct lexical choices, for example, chord mixing with Urdu in the informal registers, variation in sentence structure, for example, shorter sentence in social media, and register means specific discourse markers, for example, politeness strategies in forums. In the register variation, Shakir identified patterns of variation based on context, underscoring the dynamic nature of Pakistani English in the digital setting. And the influence of local culture is that cultural significantly shape the linguistic landscape, revealing how local practices and values permeate the language use. And if we talk about the comparison with the native English registers, so the findings is that the comparative understanding of how Pakistani English diverges from traditional native English registers. The second research article uh, that is conducted a Chinese scholar Goa and Shia in 2020 informal features in academic writing by English and Chinese scholar. So basically this study explore how informal languages, for example contraction, personal pronouns, appear in the academic writing across the cultures. And the main research objectives of this study is to uncover the informal features present in academic writing by English and Chinese scholars, exploring cross cultural influence. The methodology adopted employs a diverse corpus from academic publications, enabling a robust examination of register features across a different linguistic background. And if we talk about the key findings and implications, so this study revealed unique informal features in academic writing from both cultural perspectives and reflection on global academic standards. So this was the main informal features in second research article. So furthermore, we can see the comparative analysis of both research article and both studies. In the comparative analysis, we see similarities, differences, and insights. If we talk about the similarities, both use Corpora to compare the register specific features. And if we talk about the differences, Shakir's focus on online register in a single variety, while Chinese scholar Goa and Chia examine cross-cultural academic writing. And if we talk about insights, so the register variation is influenced by context, digital versus academic, and cultural norms. The main focus of each study, while both investigate register variation within the different cultural and institutional framework, revealing unique context of language use and the methodological difference in both research article and in both studies. Each studies employed distinct methodological tailored to their respective languages and context, illustrating the versatility of corpus based analysis. And the key variation factors and findings is that the different factors influencing register variation are identified in both studies, offering an nuanced understanding of global English and its register. So, this was the comparative analysis of both studies. We see the similarities, differences, and insights. Focus of each study, methodological differences, and the key variation factors, and finding of both studies. In the last, we conclude that the conclusion and the implications is that the corpus based method reveals systematic register differences. Findings aid in language teaching, translation, and at language modeling. Future research could expand to more languages and registers. And the summary of findings is that the findings from both studies underscore the significance of context, culture, and register in understanding language variation. And the importance for linguistic and ESL is that insight gain contribute valuable knowledge to the field of linguistics, and English is used as a second language, enriching pedagogical approaches. And the conclusion in the context aware language analysis is that this study focus on advocate for context aware approach in language analysis, promoting a more comprehensive view of linguistics in the practices. So the final takeaway is that the corpus analysis provides empirical evidence of how language adapt context in enriching languages and our understanding in the register variation. I'm discussing the introduction to corpus based analysis of corpora in register variation, and number one study of Shakir study that is conducted in 2022, a corpus based comparison of variation in online registers of Pakistani English. Research objective of Shakir study, methodology of Shakir study, key findings of Shakir study, and informal features in academic writing by English and Chinese scholars, and the comparative analysis of both the studies, and in the last, the final takeaway and the conclusion and implications. So, this was my all presentation, and I hope you find it informative and relevant to my topic. Thanks for your attention. That's all from me.